Hello, myself Mustafa Sheikh. I'll be teaching physics, and today's topic is going to be wave theory of light. So, as the name suggests, we are going to study wave theory associated with light. We are going to study wave theory associated with light. Moving ahead, we should first know what is light, certain facts about light. So, the first is light is a form of energy. Light is a form of energy. So when we hear light is a form of energy, we come to know that light is nothing but an energy. So when we hear energy, we should know this, that energy can be transferred from one point to another point in two ways. One is it has to be transferred either in the form of wave or in the form of particles. Whenever energy is transferred, it gets transferred only in two ways, either in the form of waves or in the form of particles. Very important, this point is very important. Next is light is an electromagnetic radiation. Light is an electromagnetic radiation. The next point is light is the only form of energy visible to human eye. Light is the only form of energy visible to human eye. Light is the only form of energy visible to human eye. Okay. Next point is speed of light in vacuum is approximately equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Now the next point, which is very important, is if light is a form of energy, in which form does this energy gets transferred? In form of wave or particle? So as a fact, we know it right now that light has dual nature. Light has dual nature. It can be both wave and particle. It can behave like both wave and particle. So light is a form of energy and can get transferred from one point to another point either in the form of wave or in the form of particle. It has dual nature. So after this we are going to see how over the years we got to know that it behaves like both. Who said it behaves like wave, who said it behaves like particle, and all these things we are going to study ahead. So here I have listed few names of the scientists and their idea about light, what they thought about light. First is Descartes. In 1636 he said, he gave his idea about light, and he said light is made up of particles. So the light energy will get transferred from one point to another point in the form of particles. And in 1672 Isaac Newton supported his idea and gave away his theory, that is corpuscular theory, and he said light is made up of particle, and what happens when light strikes some object, the particle of light will collide with the particle of the object, and collision will take place, and because of this collision reflection and refraction would take place. Okay. So next was around same time in 1668 Huygens said light should be a wave, and he gave away his theory, wave theory of light, which is the theory that we are going to study in detail in this particular chapter. So Huygens said it should be a wave. So we are going to see this theory in detail. So till now Descartes said light is nothing but particle. Newton said light is made up of particle. Huygens said no, light has to be a wave, and he also explained reflection and refraction properly. Along with that, he also explained certain phenomena like diffraction, interference and polarization, which Newton couldn't. So moving on, everyone thought that Huygens theory would be a correct theory because all the phenomena that were taking place in light were being able to explain using Huygens theory and not Newton's theory. So this was the idea, and in 1865 Maxwell gave a stem to Huygens theory. How? He was not studying light basically, he was not basically into light, but he was studying electromagnetic radiation. And in 1865 he gave away his electromagnetic theory. And after this theory, what did he propose? That light has to be a wave. Why? Because he saw that electromagnetic wave has a speed of has a speed that is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, and light also has a speed that is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So by this he said light has to be an electromagnetic wave. That's why we saw in the last clip that light is what? Electromagnetic radiation, because Maxwell said that since both electromagnetic radiation speed is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second and light speed is also 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, so therefore light has to be an electromagnetic radiation. By this time everyone was in this, everyone knew that light is what? A wave. Light is what? A wave. But then came Max Planck in 1900. He gave away his theory, that is Max Planck quantum theory. In this theory, and why this theory suggests that light would be a particle, let me tell you. He gave away his theory about Max Planck's quantum theory. His theory was Max Planck quantum theory. In this particular theory, what did he studied was black body radiation. Black body radiation means whenever there is a black body, it is going to absorb the energy and it is going to radiate energy. It is going to radiate energy. So what did he said? He said radiation of energy is taking place in the form of quantas of particles. It is not that waves are getting radiated out of black body. They are particles which are, there are quanta of particles that are getting released from the black body in the form of radiation. So radiation is happening in the form of particles and not wave. So black body radiation was happening in the form of particle. So here everyone was like, if some radiation is there, for example electromagnetic radiation, those radiations are in the form of wave, but if this radiation is happening in the form of particle, then what is radiation, wave or particle? So here there was a confusion, is light a wave or not? This was the confusion, and then this confusion was even taken one step ahead by Einstein when he gave away his photoelectric effect. He released a paper on photoelectric effect in 1905, and again because of this paper he suggested light has to be what? Particle. We are going to study photoelectric effect in detail in our coming chapters, but to give a brief idea about photoelectric effect, what Einstein said was whenever light will fall on a surface, the particles of light is going to hit that particular metallic surface, and electrons or the particles on the surface of the metal will come out. So for this to happen, light has to be particle, right? So Einstein said light has to be a particle. So from Descartes to Einstein we again came back to particle. So this was the confusion, this was the dilemma that was there for so many years about light, whether light would be a wave or a particle. So finally it was concluded that light has to have dual nature. Light will behave as a wave also and particle also. So as we know, light has dual nature and it behaves as wave as well as particle. As of now we will see particle nature of light, and the theory that we are going to study now is corpuscular theory given by Newton. So according to Newton, light is made up of particles, and these are very tiny particles, and he named them corpuscles. He said light, the source of light emit large number of tiny particles known as corpuscles. He said these corpuscles are perfectly elastic, rigid and weightless. I'll let you know why he added this weightless criteria later on, but these particles are perfectly elastic. He said it because whenever collision would take place, if particles are perfectly elastic and rigid, there would be no loss in kinetic energy. So that's why since whenever light travels from one point to another point, there is no loss in its kinetic energy. The speed is constant in a given media. So that is why he said it would be because the corpuscles are perfectly elastic and rigid. Next point, he said one gets sensation of light when corpuscles hit the retina. One gets sensation of light when corpuscles falls on retina. Next point is different color of light are due to different sizes of corpuscles. So blue color light would have different size corpuscle, then green color light. Okay, so after giving these points, this was his theory. He put forth this theory and he got two advantages. This theory has two advantages, and that is he could the theory could properly explain reflection and refraction. How he explained, Newton explained reflection in with this theory is, whenever particle, he said light is particle, so whenever this light particle, or maybe you can say corpuscle, hit the particle of the object, they will collide, collision will take place, and the particle will go back to its original media. This is how reflection will take place. And in case of refraction, the particle of the object would be more, and the force of attraction between the particle of light and the particle of object would be more, and because of this the direction of the particle of light would change, and hence refraction would take place. The particle will enter the media in the object, the particle will enter the object itself, and there would be no collision and going back in the same media. So you could explain refraction, you could explain reflection. What were the disadvantages? Let us look at some disadvantages of this theory. So the first disadvantage of this theory is he could not explain partial reflection and refraction. Partial reflection means simultaneously reflection and refraction is taking place at a boundary that is separating two medias. So partial reflection and refraction was not explained by this theory. He could not explain interference, diffraction, polarization. The reason behind this is interference, diffraction and polarization are phenomena which takes place only in waves. These phenomena does not take place in particles. So something has to be a wave for these things to take place, that is interference, diffraction, polarization. Since light according to Newton is particle, these phenomena could not be explained by his theory. And then Newton also predicted that the speed of light would be more in denser media than in rarer media, but this was later proved wrong by Foucault. It was later proved wrong by Foucault. So we know right now that speed of light in denser media is less than that in rarer media, but that time Newton suggested that speed of light would be more in denser media than in rarer media. And the last disadvantage that we will see is, since particles have been emitted from the source, the mass of the source should decrease, but this was not the case. Hence Newton also incorporated this criteria that particles would be weightless. But since we could see that particles are being emitted, according to his theory, particles were being emitted from the source, but there was no change in the mass of the source. So hence, because of these advantages, the theory could not stand the practicality or the phenomena that we were able to see in real life. Hence this theory of Newton was rejected. So now we are going to look at wave theory of light. The theory was first given by Huygens, and the theory is Huygens wave theory of light. So according to Huygens, light is nothing but a wave, and he said light is a longitudinal wave. Light is in the form of longitudinal wave. See, there are two types of wave that we know. Basically waves is bifurcated in two ways. One is transverse and the next one is longitudinal wave. Since at that time the idea about sound waves was clear and sound wave was a longitudinal wave, so Huygens also said that light would also be a longitudinal wave, and he said different colors are due to different wavelengths. So here he said there are different wavelengths to a particular color. So as the wavelength changes, the color of the light changes. Okay. Next is when light enters our eye, we get the sensation of light. Now the most important point that he gave was, since it is a longitudinal wave, it would require material medium, but light was traveling in vacuum. So what made light travel in vacuum? What was there in vacuum? Since we know vacuum does not have any particle, and we also know that light travels in vacuum, so how it was happening? So he suggested that there is an hypothetical media that prevails in the entire universe, and he named it luminiferous ether. He said it is just like air. We cannot see it, but it is there. So luminiferous ether is also there. It prevails in the entire universe, but we cannot see it, we cannot feel it, and we cannot definitely touch it. So we cannot basically sense that luminiferous ether, but it is there, which allows light to travel in a vacuum also. So this was a hypothesis that hypothetical statement that he gave away, but at that time there was no practical mean to either reject it or accept it. But later on it was rejected, and we'll see why it was rejected. So now we'll see at advantages of this theory. This theory could explain reflection and refraction and partial reflection and refraction also. This theory was properly explaining all these things. This theory could explain interference and diffraction. Okay, now let's see what were the disadvantages of this theory. The first disadvantage was it could not explain polarization. The reason, kindly listen to the reason. For polarization to take place, it should be a wave and it has to be a transverse wave. In longitudinal wave, polarization does not take place at all. Since he said it is a longitudinal wave, he could not explain polarization of light. He could not explain polarization of light. Again, this theory could not explain phenomena such as Compton effect and photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect, and there was another effect that came after photoelectric effect, that was Compton effect. Photoelectric effect was given by Einstein. These effects, to prove these, to basically explain this effect, one need to consider light to be particle, and since Huygens considered it to be a wave, this theory could not explain Compton effect and photoelectric effect. And later on, when Michelson and Morley studied this luminiferous ether, the hypothetical medium that Huygens suggested, they saw that there is no such media that exists in the universe. There should be no such media, and hence, and later Einstein also proved that the existence of such media, there is no such media that exists in the universe. Hence, the idea that there would be a hypothetical media was rejected, and we also know that light is a transverse wave, and transverse wave doesn't require material or a medium to travel. Hence, this was cleared that light is a transverse wave. Hence, light was able to undergo phenomena that is polarization, and light was able to travel in a vacuum. So this was the complete idea about light. And after Einstein gave away his photoelectric effect, the photoelectric effect, the paper on photoelectric effect, this was the paper which basically increased the dilemma whether light would be a particle or a wave, and that was finally concluded that light should be both particle and wave. For few phenomena, we have to consider light as wave, that is reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction, polarization, and that too a transverse wave. And for phenomena such as Compton effect, photoelectric effect, we have to consider light to be a particle. So according to the situation, according to a particular given environment, light either behaves as, or according to the subject, light behaves like either wave or particle. So thank you. In next lecture we'll see Huygens wave theory of light in detail, and how he explained reflection and refraction using his principle, and also how he explained the propagation of light in a particular media.